The check fluttered between my fingers like a leaf of contempt before I let it fall onto the nanny's lap. 50 years etched into her face, and now this, a life swelling where mine lay barren. Take it and go, I said, my voice colder than the marble under our feet. But Ethan moved like a storm. He clawed at the check with feral desperation, shredding it until paper snowed between us. Who are you to decide this? He snarled, jabbing a finger toward my face. Eleanor is carrying my child. That night, while the house slept in deceit, I saw it on his tablet, a transfer of 30,000, glowing on the screen. The note seared into my vision. For my love, you've endured so much. When our son arrives, the tigress will be gone. I didn't knock. The door to her room gave way beneath my heel, and there he was, Ethan, on his knees before her, smoothing cream over the stretch-marked terrain of her belly. Eleanor's hand rested possessively over the curve, her eyebrow arched in smug triumph. Grace, she purred, since you can't give him a child, must you cling like dead weight? Ethan's face tightened. She's doing this for you, he hissed. Where is your gratitude? Slowly, I drew the envelope from my robe. Not money this time. Photographs. Daniel, her husband, my gardener, his mouth locked with hers outside a clinic, and the ultrasound report, dated 8 weeks. Tap, tap. My finger brushed the printed words. She's pregnant, Ethan, but not by you. I let the silence thicken before I went on, my voice soft as a blade. The doctor's report came last week. You are sterile. You have been for years. I tilted my head. So if I am dead, wait. What does that make you? Then I laid the divorce papers on her nightstand, the crisp white stark against the wood. Ethan stared, his anger faltering into numb disbelief. Again with this, he muttered, avoiding my gaze. I told you, Eleanor is having the baby for us. But his eyes never left the proof of his own emptiness, and I was already gone. She's taking care of you for so many years. How can you be so jealous? As spoke, his gaze shifted from the divorce papers to the ultrasound report. His eyes changed slightly when he saw the ultrasound report. The next second, a smile spread across his face. Grace, 10 years of marriage, and your belly has shown no movement. Who doesn't know? You're a barren hen. You don't actually believe a fake certificate means you're really pregnant, do you? Besides, my brother is in the prime of his youth, studying abroad and chasing foreign girls. How could he possibly be intimate with an aging woman like you? You haven't been getting my attention lately, have you? Are you desperate for a man? I watched my husband, who used to be so docile, now acting so arrogant and aggressive. I clenched my fists tightly. Say that again, Ethan sneered. Grace, who else would want a second-hand woman besides me? William is dead. Do you still think you're a spoiled Aries? You should understand that a wife is bound to her husband once her father is gone. You're just in time. Ellie's feet are swollen from pregnancy. Go fetch her a basin of water and give her a good foot soak. Ethan, don't go too far. My eyes red-rimmed. I stared at the extremely arrogant man before me. Ethan was abandoned at the orphanage as a child. William single-handedly funded and nurtured him for so many years. He had been dependent on our family, always submissive, never daring to defy me. I never expected that the moment William died, he would show his true colors. Just then, Eleanor straightened her clothes and leaned on a stool, trying to stand up. How could someone as delicate and precious as Grace do such a thing? Let me serve Grace instead. Oh no. Sooner had she spoken than Ella Laner's foot slipped and she fell heavily back onto the stool. Ethan quickly helped her, his face flushed as he scolded me. Do you have no conscience? Eleanor has taken care of you for so many years. What's wrong with you helping her fetch water to wash her feet? You disrespectful daughter. It's karma that your mother died young. I laughed in anger. Ethan, for God's sake, get a grip. How could she possibly get pregnant at her age? The moment I finished speaking, a stinging slap landed on my face. Ellie is much younger. Then you go fetch the water after Scolding me, Ethan turned and gently asked Eleanor, "Are you hurt? Does your leg ache?" Watching so carefully, tending to Eleanor, my heart at during those 10 years, every time my IVF failed, Ethan would gently comfort me, telling me, "Honey, it's okay having a baby takes a toll on your body for you. I can do without children." But the way Ethan looked at Eleanor's belly, now, it was clear he deeply desired a child. I covered my face and turned to leave, but the bodyguards rushed in and held me down tightly. Ethan said, "The way you used to make Ellie wash your feet, that's how you'll wash hers now." Eleanor's eyes flickered. "This isn't right. I'm just a humble servant. How could Grace?" Ethan gently held Eleanor's hand. "Ellie, you're carrying our baby now. Whatever she does for you is only right." When I was forced to return with a basin of hot water, Ethan was lying on Eleanor's belly, his face full of wonder, listening to the fetal movement. "Ethan, listen, the baby just kicked me." Seeing the joy on Ethan's face, I couldn't help but lower my gaze. 10 years of marriage, and I had never seen that expression on him. Ethan had been an orphan since childhood, so he had always longed for a complete family, but I couldn't bear children, so I couldn't give him the chance to be a father. I bent down to place the basin of water on the floor, but Eleanor suddenly lifted her foot. The scalding hot water immediately reamed my thigh, and my knee turned red and blistered from the burn. But Ethan anxiously shielded Eleanor. "Are you deliberately trying to scald Ellie to death? Ellie, does it hurt?" Ethan quickly and nervously checked Eleanor. Eleanor shook her head helplessly. "Ethan, Grace certainly didn't mean it. Is she perhaps unhappy that you're treating me so well? But at my age, being pregnant, it's all for the family's lineage." I spoke through tears and snot. Ethan's face immediately darkened. "How can you be so unreasonable? The baby in Ellie's belly is my child, and it's your child, too. How could you be so malicious as to try and harm her and the baby and wipe the floor clean? Do you want Ellie to slip and die?" The moment Ethan finished speaking, the bodyguards forcibly pushed me to my knees on the floor, making me wipe it clean with my body bit by bit. The blisters on my knees burst from the pressure, and blood streamed down. I was sweating from the pain, but Ethan kicked the basin, freshly used for washing Eleanor's feet, in front of me. "Drink it. Consider it an apology to Ellie." I stared at him in shock. "Ethan, are you insane?" Ethan stepped on my hand and sneered. "When I married you, William didn't make things easy for me, did he?" I looked at Ethan, a cold sweat breaking out on my back. I suddenly remembered the wedding entrance ceremony day when a group of relatives and friends blocked Ethan from entering, insisting he drink 2 L of strong liquor before he could reach me. That wasn't all they insisted. He lit clean the liquor spilled on someone's shoe before he could enter the house. I was so furious, I was about to cry, rushing to go out and argue on his behalf, but he stopped me, saying, "Grace, to marry you I'd go through hell and high water." I never expected those solemn vows back then were just words to manipulate me. Ethan pressed down with his foot. "Are you going to drink it or not?" Ellie feigned quinus. "Ethan, the baby, and I are fine. It was just a fright. Grace has been pampered since childhood, used to find delicacies. How could she?" Hearing this, Ethan's face darkened even more. Growing up, he had been bullied countless times. Because of his status at school, he was Humiliated and forced to drink chalk water at home, he was forced to drink swill. With a wave of his hand, he commanded, "Someone make her drink it." 2 bodyguards forcibly held me down, holding the footbath water and pouring it into my mouth as I smelled the sour, foul footbath water. Tears spilled from my eyes. "Ethan, who saved you when you were bullied? How dare you treat me like this?" When was bullied at school and forced to drink water mixed with chalk dust. I was the one who rushed in with people to save him when he was punished by William at home to eat swill. I secretly poured out a large bucket of swill and gave him bread, getting a scolding from William for it. Ethan's pupils trembled and a flicker of reluctance appeared in his eyes. My stomach churned and I couldn't help but run to the bathroom to vomit immediately, looking for stomach medicine, but threw all the medicine into the toilet right in front of me. "If you want to eat them, dig them out yourself, Grace. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been bullied by those people, nor would I have been punished by William. You are the instigator of all of this, and you still want to pretend to be kind." My stomach issues flared up and my entire body trembled with pain. Ethan, however, had me tied to a chair and placed at the bedroom door. The doctor said, "Ellie has a breech presentation, and I need to help her shift the baby for a natural birth. This is your child too, so you naturally have to be part of it." Late at night, listening to the commotion inside their room, my palms trembled. Ethan's words echoed in my mind, "Once baby is born, it'll be ours." I knew Ethan was trying to get revenge on me. Ethan had been in our family for 20 years, and he had been putting on an act for 20 years. The moment William died, he showed his true colors. Before died, he had tightly gripped Ethan's hand, instructing him, "You must take good care of Grace." At that time, Ethan's eyes red-rimmed and he solemnly promised, but even then he had already gotten Eleanor pregnant. Just as I was in so much pain, I thought I would faint. My phone vibrated with a message. "I'll be stateside in 3 days." Swallowing tears of humiliation, I struggled to type a few words. "I'll wait for you." Early the next morning, Ethan pushed open the door. "Oh, by the way, I promised to transfer ownership of William's apartment to Ellie." My heart sank abruptly. "Why? That's William's property because she's having her child. It's her generosity not to mind the bad luck of a place where a dead person lived." I laughed in anger. "If she dares live in a house where someone died, isn't she afraid of karma?" Ethan's face immediately turned cold. "Grace, your spoiled Aries temper truly hasn't changed at all." I looked at Ethan's sinister gaze and a cold sweat broke out on my back. In the afternoon, Ethan returned with a wooden box. Seeing the box in Ethan's hand, I was too shocked to speak. After a long while, I just stared at him blankly and exclaimed, "Ethan, are you insane?" He actually dug up William's ashes. Ethan looked at me with determination. "I want you to kneel down and apologize to Ellie. Don't you know pregnant women can easily get depressed? Were you trying to kill her with what you said this morning? Give me William's ashes back. William worked so hard to nurture you all these years. Are you even human?" I lunged to snatch it, but missed. Ethan scoffed. "Nurture? William never treated me like a human being in the first place." Just then, there was a gradual commotion at the main entrance. My relatives had arrived. I was confused when Ethan suddenly put on a sorrowful face. "Everyone's finally here. Grace seems to be deluded. She insists on divorcing me," and even dug up William's ashes overnight, saying she wants to take him with her no matter how I tried to persuade her. She wouldn't listen. I was utterly bewildered. Ethan, what are you talking about? You're the one who committed marital infidelity, and you got Ella Laner pregnant with your child. Ethan held me earnestly. Grace, isn't this all for your own good? You cannot conceive, and I can't bear to see you suffer. Once gives birth to the baby, it will be yours. Everyone readily agreed with Ethan. Grace, I say, William is gone now. You should be happy to have such an understanding husband. Exactly. We've all seen how good Ethan has been to you all these years. How could you do something so out of line? Just then, Ellie tearfully stepped forward. I've watched Grace grow up since she was a child, and I've been devoted to the family estate for so many years. Grace is frail and cannot bear children at my age. I'm willing to risk my life to prevent the family line from ending, but I didn't expect to upset Grace. I'll go get an abortion right now. Ethan quickly embraced Ellie. Eleanor, how could you be wrong? The relatives interjected one after another. Exactly. It's not just anyone, it's Eleanor, who's practically half a family member. Grace listen to Aunt Eleanor is old, and after she gives birth, Ethan can still settle down with you. Isn't that better than him finding some other woman outside? I got angry. He committed marital infidelity. Why should I forgive him? Ethan, since you've gathered everyone here today, let's just get this divorce done. I threw out the divorce papers and immediately signed them, but the relatives frowned, leaving with nothing. Grace, that's really unfair of you. Ethan has worked for the family estate for so many years. Even if he hasn't received credit, he's put in the effort. How can you make him leave with nothing? Ethan was brought home by William as a child, and he's also part of a prenuptial agreement, so he's family now that he has a child. If you ask me, you should be the one to leave with nothing. I was stunned. Are you insane? I am the family member. You cannot conceive. So, if the property falls into your hands, won't it just be confiscated by the public? I was speechless with anger. Ethan said, everyone, please stop arguing. Grace and I have had feelings for each other for so many years. We can't just casually get a divorce. How about this? Let Eleanor safely give birth to the child first. If you're really unhappy, Grace, you can move out for now. Yes, isn't there an apartment among William's properties? Grace, since you miss William so much, why don't you go live there for now? As soon as the relatives left, Ethan immediately had my luggage thrown out of the mansion, bow 3 times to Ellie, then get out and live in William's shabby apartment. My heart grew cold as I looked at Ethan, my husband of 10 years, with whom I had shared a bed. Give me William's ashes back. Ethan smiled. You want the ashes? Fine, sign this. Ethan tossed an agreement to me, my hands trembling. I opened it only to find that it required me to voluntarily renounce my inheritance of all of William's estate. Without me, your family line will also end. Rather than having the property confiscated, it's better to give it to me in your dreams. I harshly threw the agreement in Ethan's face. Ethan got angry, threw me into William's old mansion. You can reflect. Well, here my legs were already festering, and I lay sobbing uncontrollably in the room. I didn't understand why Ethan, who had been so gentle and compliant with me just half a year ago, had become like this. It wasn't until I found a prenuptial agreement signed by Ethan among William's belongings that I understood with Extreme unease, I opened the agreement. The clauses in it were extremely harsh and deeply insulting. 1. Ethan must love me for life and protect me at all costs. 2. Not covet or own any of our family's property. 3. Be the family's loyal dog for life. My heart sank abruptly. Ethan had extreme self-esteem. No wonder he changed immediately after William died. For so many years, he endured humiliation all. For this day a bad premonition rose within me, and I quickly called the hospital. Just then, the door was kicked open. I quickly recoiled. What do you want? Ethan gave a cold smile. Oh, by the way, Grace, didn't you say you were pregnant? No sooner had Ethan finished speaking than 2 bodyguards entered and dragged me out. Ethan, are you insane? What do you want to do? I have a baby inside me. You can't touch me. Ethan dragged me out. Regardless, I was scared and quickly begged, what do you want? I'll sign right away. Don't hurt my baby. After 10 years of marriage, it wasn't just Ethan who wanted a child. I did too. In those 10 years, I underwent hundreds of IVF cycles, enduring countless pains, all for the sake of having a child of our own. My mother died during childbirth, and I never knew what maternal love was. Yet I never imagined that I wouldn't even have the right to be a mother. This child was hard won, and I would never let anything happen to him. Ethan showed no emotion. Instead, he stepped on my hand and smirked triumphantly the way William begged me before he died. It's just like you now. My eyes narrowed. What do you mean? Ethan smiled. Grace, you really are foolish. William, that old geyser, he deserved it. I was too shocked to speak. William, you killed him. Ethan scoffed disdainfully. A villain like him deserves to die. Oh, by the way, weren't you asking for his ashes? Ethan took out a small wooden box and casually tossed it in front of me. I quickly lunged forward and embraced it. Ethan's smile was terrifying. In Zern, I mixed in mongrel ashes. You and your father truly are alike. Ethan, you bastard. I was dragged and tied into the car. Before leaving, Ethan sneered at the doctor. Perform a hysterectomy on her so she won't fake another pregnancy. The anesthetic needle pierced my skin. I had no time to resist. Just then, the doctor removed his mask, and I stared at his face in shock. Daniel's brow furrowed as he looked at the wound on my leg. Grace, relax. This is an anti-inflammatory. It's time to close the net. I nodded in relief. When I arrived at the hospital, Eleanor was waiting for me at the entrance. She held a stack of documents in her arms, looking very eager. Grace, I found everything. I found all the evidence that Ethan killed William and diverted company assets. My heart numb, I closed my eyes and nodded. Eleanor, you've worked hard during this time. Daniel received a message and frowned. Wait, the plan has changed. What's wrong, G? Daniel looked troubled. Older brother sent a last-minute message saying, I saw that Ethan had changed his mind. Instead of performing a hysterectomy on me, he wanted the hospital staff to properly treat my leg injury. My brow furrowed. I couldn't understand what game he was playing. Eleanor, with her eyes red-rimmed, looked at my leg with trepidation. Grace, hurry and get it treated. It wouldn't look good if you get a scar. I gratefully held Eleanor's hand. Eleanor, thank you so much. Eleanor smiled, wiping away a tear. Silly child, why are you saying such things to me? If late mother hadn't saved and taken me in back then, I wouldn't be alive. I promised Grace's late mother I would take good care of you for life. I'll do anything. After watching the ambulance take me to the hospital, Ethan sat down in the old mansion. He had ruined my reputation, emptied my assets, and made me lose my only family member, yet he wasn't happy. He looked at the prenuptial agreement on the table, his eyes burning red. He had deliberately left this agreement in the old mansion for me to see. It was meant to make me suffer and repent. Ever since William brought him back from the orphanage, he had been very strict with him. William's strictness meant Ethan never felt an ounce of family warmth from childhood. He stuck to his place like the family's most loyal dog. Even so, William remained unsatisfied during family dinner. William wouldn't let him appear. He could only hide in a corner and eat leftovers when his grade slipped. William would physically punish him and beat him when he interned at the company. He worked the lowest jobs, fetching coffee and running errands, slowly climbing his way up, only to be mocked. The family's gold digger still has to serve us, doesn't he? William never let him near me. A bastard like you, who nobody wants, dares to come near my precious daughter. Get as far away as possible. Know your place. A mongrel like you isn't even effort to tie my daughter's shoes. Aspiring beyond his station, the more he thought about it, the redder Ethan's eyes became. He hated William's strictness, and he hated my perceived haughtiness, but he forgot that when William said he wasn't fit to sit at the table, I was the one who secretly snuck away from the banquet to eat leftovers with him. Ethan, we're not so different. William just isn't good with words. Don't take it to heart. When his grades occasionally slipped, I was the one who came in last the next time to take the scolding for him. See, you're much better than me. When was gossiped about for fetching coffee and running errands for others, I was the one who stepped forward. Ethan has the ability to start from the bottom and be the best. Just wait and see later on. Defying William's opposition, I resolutely turned down a host of rich, handsome, and accomplished suitors, insisting on marrying Ethan. Ethan is truly good to me, even after so many years of marriage without children. I never suspected it was his problem. Instead, I voluntarily underwent painful IVF treatments. I diligently remembered Ethan's birthday every year, every anniversary, every special day. I spared no effort to create surprises for him and give him enough warmth. Countless times I told him, Ethan, when we're together, that's the happiest home. 10 years of mutual appreciation, over 20 years of constant companionship. William was wrong. I never was. I shouldn't have had to carry William's burdens. The more Ethan thought, the more uneasy he felt. After several days, his guilt deepened, and he quickly ordered my favorite Lees. He nervously brought the Lees to the hospital. Grace, I had a bad attitude a few days ago. Before could finish his apology, Daniel emerged from the bathroom. Ethan saw Daniel and, recalling the compromising photos and ultrasound report, his face instantly changed. Why are you here? Daniel didn't flinch. Didn't Grace tell you? Oh, brother, you and Grace are divorced. Why can't I be here? Ethan pushed Daniel away. What are you talking about? Grace and I are perfectly fine. Ethan quickly came to me holding the flowers. Grace, I thought about it. Once baby is born, I'll transfer ownership to you and you can raise it. Okay, I smiled. Ethan, I have a child. Why would I raise someone else's? Ethan frowned. Grace, what are you talking about? You cannot conceive. Can you? I cannot conceive. Not with you. With someone else. It's natural. I Looked up at Daniel. Ethan looked at him, then at me, his face pale. Grace. You must be lying to me. How could you? With my brother. I ruthlessly cut Ethan off. Ethan, all those times my IVF failed before, do you really not know why? Ethan's pupils trembled. He was feeling guilty. I took out the message history Eleanor had found from him. What more do you have to say? My body had never had any issues. It was Ethan who had low sperm count. This was why Ethan had been abandoned by his family. He had low sperm count to prevent me from getting pregnant. Ethan had been secretly putting birth control pills in my food. Later, he bribed the IVF clinic, repeatedly destroying our embryos, causing me countless suffering, and still remaining infertile. The lie exposed. Ethan collapsed. He explained, pale-faced, honey, I was afraid you wouldn't be able to bear the pain of childbirth. Have you forgotten how far we've come over the years? Of course, I want our child since you're pregnant. Now Daniel's child is also the family's child, and I can raise it with you. I interrupted him coldly. I'm not willing. You can leave. Daniel, now dressed, stood in front of me. Older brother, it's not very appropriate for you to openly try to steal my wife like this, is it? Ethan gritted his teeth. I'll say it again. Grace and I are not divorced. I looked at Ethan expressionlessly. I've already signed the divorce papers. As for what happens next, my lawyer will contact you. Ethan wanted to say something more, but Daniel had already shut him out. He was restless all over, returning home dejected, leaning dependently on Ella. Later, Ellie, Grace doesn't want me anymore. What do I do? Eleanor suppressed her nausea and stroked his hair. Ethan, show some sincerity and pursue her properly. Grace has been your childhood sweethearts for so many years. She'll change her mind. Ellie, it's so good to have you once you give birth to the baby. I promise I won't treat you unfairly. Grace and I will support you in old age. Eleanor smiled kindly at him. Come, have a glass of milk to warm your stomach. Early the next morning, Ethan brought fresh lees again to seek reconciliation, but I was no longer at the hospital. Daniel pushed my wheelchair back into my room. Does your leg still hurt? I shook my head. Why are you back early? I was worried about you. I finished with school matters now that I'm stateside. I don't plan on leaving. I looked at Daniel, my ears burning faintly. My parents will be back soon, too. They said they want to see older brother. At the mention of Ethan, my expression involuntarily turned grim again. William had always warned me to be careful of Ethan, but for so many years, because of Ethan's kindness to me, I never let my guard down around him. It wasn't until I coincidentally met Daniel at a banquet that day that I realized Ethan had already found his own family, but he had kept it a secret from me. From that day on, I grew suspicious of Ethan, but it was too late. He had secretly diverted company assets, already emptying the family estate. Ethan had a lack of maternal love and was dependent on Eleanor, which is why I collaborated with Eleanor to put on this act. I had thought he was only coveting the family estate's property, but I never expected even William's death was connected to him. After gained power, those who had bullied him before were also severely punished. Eleanor sent a message. I looked at it, feeling a bit hesitant. Daniel took my phone and without hesitation tapped send. He deserves this. Eleanor had sent me compromising photos she had arranged to be taken after sedating Ethan with these photos. Ethan would be accused of marital infidelity, and he wouldn't get a single penny of the property. 2 weeks later, Daniel's parents arrived stateside before could even meet them. The compromising photos of him were the talk of the town on the day of the banquet. I went to. Daniel's parents liked me very much and publicly announced our engagement amidst the celebrations. Ethan arrived, facing numerous strange glances. I don't agree. Below, people began to whisper, "Is that him? The family's eldest son?" "What eldest son? He's just abandoned trash. I heard he's impotent. Have you seen his photos? He's just a puppet in the family estate and dares to be so promiscuous. What nerve? You're saying he's impotent? Could he have been ruined by his lifestyle?" Serving the family Aries certainly requires some real skills. For the first time in his life, Ethan met his biological parents, but it was in such a setting. He gave his parents a fleeting, extremely complicated look before his gaze finally settled on me. "Grace, we're not divorced yet. I don't agree to you marrying him." Daniel tightly gripped my hand, then stepped forward. "Sir, my son's engagement is not for an outsider to agree or disagree with." Ethan's heart was sharply pierced. He looked at his biological mother in disbelief. Catherine smiled, announcing to the entire city, "Our family only has one son, Daniel." As for the rumors outside, they are baseless rumors. Some people are not meant to have a family from birth. Catherine's words deeply stabbed Ethan's heart. "Mr. Ethan, what's next is my son and daughter-in-law's engagement ceremony. If you wish to observe, you are welcome. If you intend to disrupt the event, we won't entertain you." Ethan's face was extremely mortified, and he angrily left. He went to the bar alone to drown his sorrows, his mind filled with the images of Catherine and Richard kindly smiling at Daniel at the banquet while they spoke harshly to him. He even had the word mom stuck in his throat but couldn't bring himself to say it. Ethan drunkenly returned to the family estate, embraced Ella Laner, and broke down in tears. Why is everyone treating me like this? What did I do wrong?" Eleanor shook her head helplessly. "William may have been strict with you, but he was raising you to be an heir. Why did you have to go to such lengths?" Ethan was stunned. "Eleanor, you really are foolish. You ruined yourself." After spoke, she suddenly clutched her stomach and couldn't straighten up. Ethan immediately panicked and embraced Eleanor. "Eleanor, hold on. You must safely give birth to the baby. Grace likes children. She'll definitely change her mind." Ethan now had nothing, placing all his hopes on Eleanor's belly. At the hospital, he waited anxiously at the entrance. During that time, he kept calling me, but I ignored him. Daniel picked up my phone. "It seems Eleanor is in trouble. Are you really not going to answer? Just take me to the hospital." Directly when I arrived at the hospital, the operating room light had just turned off. Ethan's face was flushed as he eagerly asked the nurse, "How is it?" "The surgery was successful." Ethan was delighted. "Boy or girl?" The nurse frowned. "What boy or girl?" "The uterine tumor has been removed. Pay attention to postoperative care." Ethan was completely bewildered. "What are you talking about? How did my perfectly fine baby turn into a tumor?" "Stop." Ethan anxiously chased after the nurse. Just then, Daniel pushed me in my wheelchair up to Ethan. "Ethan, I told you long ago that Eleanor is too old to get pregnant." Again Ethan looked up in confusion. "How could that be?" I was with her for every prenatal checkup. Eleanor's belly was clearly getting bigger. Ethan suddenly realized. He looked at me and smiled. Grace, was it you? Did you and Eleanor conspire to deceive me? Ethan began to laugh manically. That explains it. Eleanor watched you grow up since childhood. How could she ever let you be defeated? Ethan's longing for a child was no less than mine. He had been an orphan since childhood, so he deeply yearned for a happy and complete family. He had waited joyfully for this child's birth, only to be met with the reality of being deceived. But even so, as he looked at Eleanor lying in the hospital bed, he couldn't even utter a word of blame. Ethan quickly accepted the fact that Eleanor wasn't pregnant. He wasn't even angry. Instead, he sobered up and took care of Eleanor. I knew Ethan was dependent on Eleanor. Eleanor filled Ethan's lack of maternal love. Eleanor was also the only person who had truly loved Ethan. He was afraid Eleanor would abandon him after the surgery. Eleanor woke up and quickly stood from the bed. Ethan eagerly asked about her. Eleanor, how are you? Are you uncomfortable anywhere? Eleanor took the bag of tumor removed during surgery and violently threw it at his face. This is your retribution. Ethan knelt on the floor remorsefully, clutching Eleanor's leg. Eleanor, hit me, yell at me, just please don't abandon me, okay? Eleanor sneered. You betrayed Grace, made her unable to have children, killed William, and diverted her property. I truly misjudged you. Someone like you doesn't deserve a family member. Ethan was terrified, recalling his biological mother's attitude toward him, and nodded repeatedly. Yes, I don't deserve a family member. Hit me, Eleanor. Eleanor was trembling with anger. I won't kill you. Whatever sins you've committed, go say them at William's grave. I looked at Ethan expressionlessly. Just because William was a little strict with you, you wanted to kill him. Ethan, don't you think you're ridiculous? If it weren't for William's strictness, how could you be in the position you are today? Ethan, honestly ask yourself, has William never been good to you? Ethan fell to the floor, his lips trembling. When he was bullied as a child and cried coming home, it was William who told him boys must learn to fight back and be strong. It was William who personally taught him martial arts, teaching him every punch and kick. He was timid and weak, and it was William who gradually helped him become competent and strong. When he collapsed from work, it was also William who sent people to assist and care for him. Ethan, you caused all of this because of your insecurity. Who can you blame but yourself? The more Ethan thought, the more afraid he became. The family and love he had longed for since childhood, he clearly had all of it for the past 20 years. A strict father, a loving Eleanor, a gentle wife, but he ignored it all, only harboring resentment, and even personally destroyed the very home he craved most. Ethan was trembling with fear, his heart sinking as he searched for excuses for himself. But he made me sign that agreement. He clearly didn't treat me like a human being. Daniel couldn't stand it anymore. When you looked at the agreement, why didn't you look at the whole thing? The prenuptial agreement's preceding clauses were all personally insulting except for the last page. William had stated that as long as Ethan was wholeheartedly good to me and to the family estate, everything preceding that would be null and void, and he would even receive half of the family estate's property. Ethan looked at the last page of the agreement and completely broke down. William, I failed you, William. It's all my fault, it's my mistake. Ethan crawled to me like a dog. Grace, I was wrong. Grace, I was deluded. Please forgive me. Okay, William is gone now, let me stay with you and make amends. Okay, Grace, too late, go cry at William's grave. I kicked Ethan away forcefully before coming here. Daniel had checked the hospital surveillance footage from the day William died. Although health wasn't good, he clearly could have lived longer. It was Ethan who pulled out his oxygen tube, threatening him, once you're dead, your beloved daughter is next. William died a tragic death, unable even to close his eyes. My eyes were red-rimmed with anger. Daniel helped me buy the orphanage where Ethan used to live. I had it demolished right in front of Ethan. Ethan, I said, your mother was right. Some people are not meant to have a family and certainly not meant to have love. Ethan knelt on the ground, begging me. Grace, no, I know what happened to William was my fault. Please don't do this. Ethan, you were brought into my family. From here today, I'm demolishing this place as if you were never here. Amidst wails, the orphanage collapsed with a thunderous crash. After completely breaking down, Ethan would spend every day kneeling at William's grave in the cemetery. Relatives took turns coming to yell insults, calling him a gold digger and an undutiful son. A month after Ethan started kneeling, I came to the cemetery. Hope flickered in Ethan's ash and eyes. Grace, are you here to see me? I kicked over the ashes in front of him. Ethan was stunned. He quickly lunged to gather the ashes together. Grace, what are you doing? I scoffed. Ethan, a vile person like you doesn't deserve to kneel before William. Those are just a mongrel's ashes. A bastard like you isn't even fit to be human. Ethan was summoned by the court for illegally diverting the family estate's assets and was sentenced in prison. They taunted him. We heard your wife and your brother are together, so what will your wife's child call you, dad or uncle? How could he have a child with a low sperm count? 5. Upon hearing this, Ethan attacked the man like a madman and was eventually injured by a guard's taser while he was incarcerated. Whenever a fellow inmate's family came for a prison visit, Ethan would be taken aside to watch, but no one ever came to see him. A year later, I safely gave birth to a baby. Eleanor came to the Zhao residence with me to help with the baby. Daniel held me. Grace, from now on, being together will be the happiest home for the baby's 100th day celebration. The 5 of us, along with Eleanor, took a family photo, and I sent one to Ethan. It was the first time Ethan had received anything in prison. He looked at the family photo, tears streaming down his face, laughing a desolate laugh. Grace, it's all my fault. I personally destroyed our home. William, I'm so sorry. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section. Feel free to share your views. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories. See you next time.